sounds of the Platters, Ritchie Valens, and Lou Fay and the Nomads. The Nomads started back in 1956. Probably every teenager in the San Diego area jitterbugged to their music at one time or another.
We just had a great time. I mean, the rapport was just excellent. I can remember we used to play at the War Memorial Building on Friday nights.
They used to have dances at the War Memorial, and that might have been on into the 60s, which we kept going. And I remember hundreds of kids coming together at the time and going to these dances.
Wednesday night at the La Mesa Youth Center. We did that for several years. The police department, the La Mesa Police Department sponsored it, and it was a great time. But we, every weekend we were playing. I mean, there were sometimes we'd play 2 or 3 times in one day.
The Nomads were busy. This old page from one of Lou Fay's appointment calendars proves that. It also proves no one got rich. Some nights, each member of the band would take home $7, others $10. So they tried putting out their own songs. I guess Do the Freeze and Icky Poo didn't exactly put them on the same level as Elvis. History, and they disbanded in 1967. But that's not the end of the story. As the baby boomers grew older, radio stations went back to playing the music of the 50s. The Nomads reformed in the late 80s with several original members.
When people hire us now, they hire us to bring back memories.
And they did just that. Memories of sock hops and dances at the War Memorial Building and slow dancing cheek to cheek. What was it about the 50s in San Diego that made it all so special? How could it be that after 4 decades or more, we still catch ourselves looking back fondly, warmly remembering a summer day at the beach, a Friday night cruising the boulevard, or a smooth sax solo? Well, certainly part of it has to do with the fact that there were so many of us coming of age or growing up at that time. Our sheer numbers make it almost impossible to avoid seeing, reading, or hearing something about those days. And part has to do with the wars which surrounded the 1950s. In retrospect, they seem to give the decade a peaceful glow that it may not have earned. But all of that still isn't enough to explain the 50s and the special place it occupies in our hearts and minds. We may not remember the 50s with perfect accuracy and without bias, but those were good times. Those were sweet times. Those were happy days. For KPBS Television, I'm Marion Ross.